Our top story tonight is about the Ukraine war. Russia unleashed one of its heaviest drone attacks on the Ukrainian capital in recent weeks. Ukrainian officials saying Russia's drone barrage involved dozens of Shahed-type attack drones launched late at night and staggered through the early hours of the morning to overwhelm the country's air defenses. Explosions were heard across multiple districts. Fires broke out in residential areas. Cars and shops were damaged. Emergency workers spent the early morning hours putting out fires and rescuing those trapped under the debris. Kyiv officials saying the attack was aimed at undermining civilian morale as winter approaches, a familiar pattern in Russia's seasonal pressure strategy in a way. And when daylight came, it revealed the scale of the destruction. Charred buildings, shattered windows, damaged infrastructure. Firefighters combed through the scorched courtyards and broken stairwells. Hospitals reported dozens of injuries from shrapnel to glass, from falling debris. And while Kyiv was still picking up the pieces at home, Ukraine also launched a major strike of its own. The Ukrainian president, in fact, said that his troops launched new strikes deep inside Russian territory using Ukraine's indigenous long-range, Long Neptune cruise missiles. He released a monochrome video showing a missile firing into the night sky. The Long Neptune was first tested by Ukraine in combat back in March and has a range of up to 1,000 kilometers. Zelensky says the missile program is becoming more accurate and more effective with each operation. Zelensky did not specify which targets were hit overnight, but earlier Russia said that Ukraine targeted one of its most strategic assets, the oil terminal located on the Black Sea. In fact, Russian officials saying their air defenses intercepted a barrage of Ukrainian drones, including maritime drones, just kilometers from the port. Now, here's why this port matters. It's a critical hub for Russia's oil exports. Any disruption there hits revenue, shipping, military logistics. But then this attack did not deliver the impact that Kyiv hoped for, in a way. Moscow claims no damage to oil infrastructure, no fires, no interruption in tanker movement. For Ukraine, this was meant to be a pressure point, a strike at Russia's war economy, in a way, a signal to Moscow and the world that it can still reach deep inside Russian territory. And to be fair, Ukraine has kept that pressure alive. But then the scale and the reach of its operations are still limited. And this latest attempt falling short only shows what has been obvious through 4 years of the war. The asymmetry of this conflict, in a way. Russia is pounding Kyiv far harder than Ukraine can hit back, it seems. And that imbalance, if it can be called that, in terms of firepower, resources, momentum, is exactly why Russia believes that time is on its side. Why it believes each passing week makes its position stronger at any future negotiating table. And Russia's foreign minister, by the way, has reiterated something Moscow has been saying for a long time now, that Russia remains open to dialogue. In an interview with an Italian newspaper, Lavrov said, I'm quoting here, "We are still ready to hold the second Russian-American summit in Budapest if it really builds on the well-developed results of Alaska." However, the date has not been determined. Russian-American contacts are continuing, quote unquote. That's the statement. But this is not new. Russia has consistently said it wants peace, that is, if it comes from mutual understanding, which essentially means that its conditions need to be met first. And Russia's terms for peace are unchanged. Territorial control, security red lines, and acceptance of the new realities on the ground. The more Russia advances, the better positioned it will be whenever negotiations finally start, which is why Moscow has escalated pressure, not reduced it. And here's where things stand right now. Ukraine's front lines collapsing. Multiple places, including east and parts of the south, have seen Ukrainian withdrawals. Russia is slowly but steadily gaining ground. In fact, momentum equals leverage in a way. Every kilometer captured now becomes a bargaining chip later. Moscow wants to enter talks with maximum territory under its control. So it's war until peace, to put it simply. Russia's war will continue until a political settlement is reached. And that settlement will be shaped by realities on the ground, not just declarations. And the way things stand right now, there is no incentive to slow down, really. With Ukraine's defenses strained, the war fatigue settling in, it has set with Ukraine supporters. Russia is seeing no strategic logic as such in reducing the pressure. Therefore, in Russia's view, it seems pushing hard now accelerates the moment when Ukraine will have no choice but to come to the table. And Ukraine knows all this, and that's why the Ukrainian president welcomed the G7's call for immediate ceasefire. After dismissing such a possibility for years, Zelensky seems to now have conceded defeat in a way and is okay to use the current contact line as a starting point for negotiations. But until the talking table appears, the war will carry on. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.